This is Hong Kong, not just one of the most populated places on the planet, but a beautiful place too. 40% of its land is country parks and nature reserves, 76% is rural, and believe it or not, only 24% is built up. These shots are the first shots with my new Phantom 4 drone. They're taken at Whitehead. More than 1 million people live within a 5-mile radius of here. And yet it looks like we're in some Scottish loch or tropical archipelago. I must admit that I was amazed at this aerial view. I've been here many times, but I've never seen it this way before. I'm amazed at the quality of the drone, steadier than if I hold the camera in my hand. In case you don't believe this is Hong Kong, this is what a rural village looks like here. The towns are more built up, and views like this are common here. Today I'm going to take you with me on a day out in Hong Kong and let you see another side of this amazing place. So we start out in Inspiration Lake. Drones not allowed. Too near to the airport. It's actually a recreation center opened in 2005 with an artificial lake, a 1,500-meter jogging trail with exercise areas and a children's playground that was created as part of the Disneyland Resort. Admission is free. It's also an arboretum, that is a botanical garden that specializes in trees and shrubs, each tree labeled with its name and origin. It has 4,800 trees and 430,000 shrubs. The lake is the largest artificial lake in Hong Kong and has a depth of between 6.5 and 7.5 meters. The flowers and shrubs are beautiful, and it certainly is a peaceful and relaxing place. From there I went to fly my drone at the lookout that overlooks the Tsing Ma Bridge. It's the world's 9th longest suspension bridge that was the 2nd longest at the time of completion. It connects the island of Qingyi and Ma Wan, and was built so that traffic could reach the new airport. It has 2 levels. Above is road traffic, underneath both road and rail traffic, which also makes it the largest suspension bridge of this type. The enclosed road underneath is used when typhoons strike Hong Kong. And yes, I've driven through there in a typhoon. There's also another bridge on the other side. I'm in the center of the shot here, and the drone will fly over me. In the distance is Chunwan. We then headed out to another country park near to where I live, which is known locally as Monkey Hill for obvious reasons. They are macaque monkeys with long tails and live wild in Hong Kong. I remember my son going into his bedroom one day and finding one sitting in his armchair. I then got another chance to fly my toy. This is what I was shooting. The islands we've just visited in the distance, but another shot that illustrates the rural side of Hong Kong. We often come here for barbecues and walks. The reservoir is also a popular place for fishing. As we look the other way, we see the Shatin Valley. A great flight. So one last place. This is where we came in. There goes the drone. And this is the shot. Another great day in Hong Kong. I'm looking out my window in Hong Kong. It's a beautiful day and my day off. So I'm going to visit Plover Cove Country Park that is here. About 12 miles away, a 20-minute drive around Tolo Harbour. This is Plover Cove Country Park, a beautiful scenic spot surrounded by mountains, and on a sunny November day, 29 degrees, it's a great place to relax. I've actually brought my drone along to get a couple of different viewpoints, but I'm enjoying taking some shots of this beautiful cove. in the sea, I spotted a group of what looks like banded eagle rays in the warm waters. People who don't live here generally have the idea that Hong Kong is all skyscrapers and crowds. Not so. 40% is country parks and 76% is rural. And just standing here one can enjoy mountains, plants and animals and sit and have a cheap drink or a snack whilst enjoying the free food for the soul, or even take a boat trip. It's called Dai Mei Dok, a name which even local Chinese people wonder about. You see, the original Dai Mei Dok was written slightly differently, meaning the very end or the great tail, because the village is located at the end of Mount Bak Sin Leng, literally the 8 Immortals Mountain, because it has 8 distinct peaks, each named after a Chinese immortal. In ancient China, people depicted the curve of the mountain ridge as the back of the dragon. From the air it looks like a sleeping dragon. Anything on the dragon's back is a sign of good fortune. So after a while, the people living in Dai Mei Dok changed the village's name from the very end to the place of great beauty. Sounds the same, just different Chinese characters. So it remains to this day a place of great beauty, and no one can argue with that. And guess what? There's the dragon in the sky. Now it's time to have a look from up there. I'm always amazed that as the drone ascends, it gives me a completely different take on familiar places. I get to see them like never before. The water to the left of the causeway is a reservoir, and to the right is the ocean. Here is the Plover Cove, and I'm standing just below. The sun is beginning to set, so I want to quickly walk up to the causeway and get a shot with the drone on that side. My studio is in the distance. I send up the Phantom 4 to get some last shots, being careful that I rise above the kites being flown. As the sun sets, the mood changes. A warm sunset in rural Hong Kong. Away from the madding crowd. A great afternoon, but now it's time for some Thai food. Aberdeen Marina, 1st of October, celebrating Patty's birthday for the 42nd time. This time, we're taking the boat around to the other side of Hong Kong Island. But first, we eat. It's a beautiful autumn evening, and we're anticipating a great time. As we finish dinner and cruise toward Hong Kong Harbour. The high rises of Hong Kong quickly dominating the skyline. Everybody's getting ready for the $1 million extravaganza that happens every year for Patty's birthday. Few places in the world are as exciting as Hong Kong Harbour. This is fun. Fireworks displays in Hong Kong are legendary. Breathtaking shows of pyrotechnics that light up the Hong Kong skyline over beautiful Victoria Harbour. Thousands will gather along the waterfront to witness this stunning spectacle. The show will be over 20 minutes long and is set off from 3 barges positioned in the middle of Victoria Harbour. The fantastic show can be seen from anywhere where there's a view of the sky above the harbour, either from Kowloon or the island. All the hotels are fully booked, and we're not the only boat here. Out there, 1 million people sitting on their balconies, having just eaten and looking forward to the treat. Here we go. While we're celebrating Patty's birthday, Hong Kong is marking National Day. People's Republic of China was founded on the 1st of October, 1949. The program consists of several acts with different themes, featuring elements of Chinese culture, Chinese characters, and brilliant and colorful designs. As we gently rock in the calm waters and watch over 23,000 fireworks at a cost of over $1 million. There's no boat traffic allowed actually under the fireworks for safety reasons, so we're all bobbling around together on the edge. Music is played both on the promenades and on the radio, so we can have the added effect of the music. The grand finale is the last minute, when the sky is illuminated with bright colors, reds, blues, greens, and golds. In true Hong Kong fashion, as soon as it's over, we all race back to the marina and sit in the saloon discussing the latest happenings in this amazing enclave. Oh, and having some birthday cake. What an evening. Kai Tak Airport was the international airport of Hong Kong from 1925 until it closed on the 6th of July, 1998, when the new airport was opened. The only runway, runway 13 as it was called, extended into Kowloon Bay. In 2013, the Kai Tak Cruise Terminal was opened on the end of the former runway. I still remember the landings here, precariously skirting the mountains and skyscrapers to the north. It was actually ranked as the 6th most dangerous airport in the world. I remember it well, because I took off and landed in the cockpit many times with pilots I knew, a practice no longer possible. Now this is where the cruise ships dock. Alas, none in today, but that means I get uninterrupted views over Victoria Harbour. This is where the old Kai Tak runway used to be, and where I first landed when I came to Hong Kong. It's August and both hot and humid, but a beautiful sunny day. Dr. Alex and his wife, Dr. Annie, and Professor Rebecca are my companions today. Dr. Alex is my guide when I'm in India. The terminal roof is where we are, exploring the gardens, the flowers, and interesting structures. All around us, the skyscrapers of Hong Kong, as I film 315, by far the most of any city in the world. New York comes second with 242. Nowadays, most organizations define a skyscraper as a building that reaches or exceeds the height of 150 meters. The older definition of 100 meters or more gives Hong Kong more than 1,300. New York second at 573. The engineer who built this skyscraper was fired. I believe he was from Pisa. Now you'll notice that it's a clear sunny day. Looking out to sea, the visibility is great. Here we are on the very end of what used to be the old runway. Pilots taking off had to aim between the two skyscrapers before them. I arrived here on December the 13th, 1974, when I was 2 years old. One thing I clearly remember from 42 years ago was the clear blue skies. Almost a thing of the past now. It's been raining here, and it cleared some of the pollution, the vast majority of which arrives daily from China, just over the border. Looking toward the source of the pollution, I'm wondering if the sun will make it to the horizon or disappear behind the pollution. Time for coffee, the cafe overlooking the city. The sun still visible. Will it make it or disappear into the gloom? Now you see it, and now you see the extent of the pollution we have to breathe every day. This is the new Hong Kong. We're on the coast of the South China Sea. It's early evening, and the restaurants are getting ready to open. This is Sai Kung in Hong Kong. An old fishing village now renowned for its seafood, and when you see it, you'll have to be impressed. People who have not visited Hong Kong sometimes get the impression that it's all high-rise buildings and wall-to-wall people. The truth is that only around 10% of Hong Kong is developed. That means there are many relatively quiet, scenic places to visit. It's early April, and it's an excellent time to sit out in the warm evening and enjoy the atmosphere in Hoi Sin Gai, Seafood Street, and perhaps take a trip around the harbour on a sampan. I asked the lady, what's the price? She just told us for 1 hour is 100 Hong Kong dollars. That's about 12 US dollar. Half an hour, 6 US dollar. It's not too bad, not too expensive. She said usually it's 200. We didn't do it, but afterwards I wish we had. Just for the video. Not exactly a luxury boat. The harbour is now a typhoon shelter. Hong Kong gets between 5 and 10 typhoons a year, so the boats need to be well protected. The waterfront in the evening is an interesting place. We even encountered 2 famous movie stars. Strolled down the promenade, watched people watching the world go by, and generally felt great. A beautiful evening, calm sea, slight breeze, and Kitty's boat will take us to a nearby island and back for 20 Hong Kong dollars. That's $2.50 US. Not bad. In addition to the restaurants, one can buy fresh seafood off the boat. It's interesting to watch the deals going down. He's telling the lady that he's selling it to her so cheap, he's losing money. This lady is cutting up a spotted snake eel. We decided to take a walk around the shops. There's a great variety of things for sale and things to see. Very pretty little place with parks and the seafront there, very interesting. And many people have dogs here. To eat seafood here really requires a group of people to get a good variety of dishes. So we decided to do my favorite restaurant instead, Jasper's, and have Western food. Greek salad to start, olives, feta cheese, peppers, followed by a chicken parmesan with grilled veggie. The hamburger at the next table looked good. Then we had rack of lamb. Before heading back out into the night to walk off the calories. Back to Hoi Sing Gai, pretty at night. By now the crowds are showing up, but one has to consider there's no menu on earth quite like this one. Choose your meal. You don't speak Chinese? No problem. Just point it out. This is the menu. And not only do you get to eat great seafood, you even have a nice view too. You know something? I think this is where we came in. We're on our way to Lantau Island in Hong Kong to visit Ngong 360, a cable car that leaves the town of Chung and ascends 3.5 miles to Ngong village in the hills above Hong Kong Airport. We jump in the gondola and start our ascent. Some of the gondolas, called the crystal gondolas, have glass floors, giving a great, if somewhat scary view. But that view is nothing compared to the view one gets out of the main windows. That is Hong Kong Airport below, and that view is spectacular. Between the two terminals at Chung and Ngong, there are 8 towers, and the views on a sunny day, amazing. And we can enjoy them for 25 minutes. On reaching the top, we're immediately in the Ngong village, the location of the gigantic Tintan Buddha, also known as the Big Buddha, which is 112 feet tall. Ngong has been developed as a tourist venue, beautifully decorated, with shops and restaurants lining the main street. It occupies a 15,000 square meter site and has been designed to highlight the cultural and spiritual importance of the area. Central is the bronze statue of the Buddha. Traditional Chinese architectural designs are a feature of the village, and it's a colorful, photogenic place, especially in the sunshine. Roughly equidistant from Big Ben, the Statue of Liberty, and the Cape of Good Hope on the tip of Africa. And just one of the many attractions of Hong Kong.